Hello, and welcome to Catholic Current, where we give you an update on events affecting the Church in the United States. From the nation's capital, I'm James Rogers, filling in for Maura Moser. Here in the United States, the third Sunday in September is set aside for acknowledging the importance of catechists in the Church's teaching ministry. Catholic Current spoke with Archbishop Alfred Hughes, who serves on the Committee for Evangelization and Catechesis.
I went to public schools on the elementary and secondary level, junior high school level. Secondary high school, I did go to a Catholic school. But I went to religious education classes on Saturday. Friday night, my dad would sit down with me and each one of my siblings. And first of all, he would spot check to make sure that I studied. And at that time it was the old Baltimore Catechism. I'm pre-Vatican II, and I'm 90 years of age right now. So he would spot check, and then he would set the catechism aside and ask me what my answers meant. That would be the challenging moment. But the best part was he would then share what that teaching meant to him in family, in work, and in the neighborhood. And without realizing it at the time, but now appreciating it profoundly, I came away from that experience with the sense that God didn't intend any gap between ordinary human life and his revelation. And I'm forever grateful for the gift that my dad gave me.
If someone feels called to serve the Lord and the Church in this way, if someone is thinking about responding to that call of being a catechist, how might they prepare themselves? What are some things they should keep in mind? Or in other words, what advice might you have for them?
A person that's really mature in witnessing to the faith and the gospel is a joyful person. Is a convinced person, but joyful. Not condemning people, not looking down, not teaching in a way that's condescending, but wanting to share what has come to mean so much to them. Catechesis today has to be really evangelizing. It has to be presented in a way that helps people to meet the Lord and to meet him in a transforming way. It's not just communicating the content of the faith, it's leading people to meet the Lord, and that meeting have impact on the way they think and live. And so a Catholic culture is not going to do it today. There has to be that personal engagement that continues to build over a lifetime, but engages people early on. And so I just want to lift up that very important evangelizing dimension to catechesis today.
Catechetical Sunday began almost 90 years ago in 1935. Since the 1970s, the USCCB has provided parishes with resources to mark the day, including prayer cards, posters, and commissioning certificates. The U.S. theme for 2023 is taken from Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all you who labor and are burdened." September 24th is the 109th World Day of Prayer for Migrants and Refugees. This year's theme is free to choose whether to migrate or to stay. Focusing on the importance of freedom, this year's message from Pope Francis says, quote, "To make migration a choice that is truly free, efforts must be made to ensure to everyone an equal share in the common good respect for his or her fundamental rights, and access to an integral human development. We spoke with Bishop Mark Seitz, chairman of the Committee on Migration, who invited us to think about the root causes of migration.
When people think about the situation regarding immigration, they often think about the border. They've seen the scenes of El Paso and other places along the border where at times when there's a surge, hundreds of people are coming, and they say, there's the problem, and that's where the problem has to be solved. Well, that's not where the problem will be solved, because first of all, we need to have an orderly pathway for people so that when there's a need for workers in our country, for instance, they can come. And when there is a need for people to be able to take refuge in our country, they can come. But if you really want to have a slower flow of people, if you don't want to see those kinds of numbers seeking to cross, then you have to think about the places they come from. And why are they leaving their homes? It's not because they just want to have a better car, a bigger yard. They love their homes, they love their country, they love their culture. They're leaving in this day and age because they have no other choice.
Forced migration is currently at an all-time high, according to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. By the end of 2021, nearly 90 million people were displaced worldwide. The USCCB's National Migration Week starts on September 17th. It encourages people of goodwill to reflect on local actions as well as broader policies that will help people to choose whether or not to migrate. To learn more, receive updates, and download free materials, please visit justiceforimmigrants.org. In a Catholic tradition dating back more than 7 centuries, the Church celebrates a jubilee every 25 years. It's a practice with roots in the Old Testament, and it once included debt forgiveness, liberation of captives or slaves, and allowing the earth to rest. The next jubilee will be coming soon in 2025, and planning is already well underway. On September 8th, the Vatican released the official prayer of Pope Francis for the Holy Year. The prayer is designed to allow pilgrims all over the world to, quote, use the same words to express gratitude to God for the Jubilee experience and request the grace of forgiveness. The theme for the 2025 Jubilee is Pilgrims of Hope, and indeed, more than 30 million people are expected to visit Rome for the next Jubilee. You can find out more at the Jubilee website, jubileum2025.va. You can see that website at the bottom of your screen. Catholic Current will be bringing you ongoing details about an entire year of events starting in December 2024 when the Holy Door of St. Peter's Basilica is opened. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Catholic Current. You can find out more about any of this week's topics by visiting us online at usccb.org or follow us on social media at USCCB. I'm James Rogers. God bless and take care.